debt for 2 straight years. That was pretty incredible, and so even though if we wanted to do a whole room on Bill Clinton, you'd find that I have a lot of criticism of him. But grading on a curve, I don't think there's anybody in my lifetime that touched.
Let's do it.
Well, he did a good job on women's issues, didn't he?
No, Clinton was great for the economy. I gave it to the country, baby. I have a love-hate relationship with Bill. Well, the Clinton period.
I think the thing that made Clinton effective and why I would grade him on a curve as the best was that he's the last president that we've had that figured out how to work with the other side. And by the way, when he worked with the other side, it was a hostile other side. Newt Gingrich did not want political wins to go to the Democrats. He did not want political wins to go to Bill Clinton. But what he did want is he did want to pass the contract with America. And the reason, he wanted welfare reform to be passed. He wanted all of the reforms within the contract for America to be passed. And in order to do that, he knew he needed Clinton to sign it. Clinton signing it is because at the midterms after his first election, he was wildly unpopular. A lot of people forget this. In the midterms, basically, you talk about a red wave. There was a red wave, and Bill Clinton kind of led to that. Bill Clinton also snuck into the presidency in a 3-way race because Ross Perot was able to get 19% of the vote. Otherwise,
yeah.
Right. Otherwise, if Ross Perot's not in, hold on. If Ross Perot's not in that election, Clinton doesn't win. And his first 2 years in office, he was wildly unpopular. And then he realized, I've got to get something done. I've got to do something that people are going to, applaud and like. And so he worked with the other side. Imagine that, working with the other side. And the work that he did, it allowed them to balance the budget for 2 years. And again, neither side got everything that they wanted. They did this thing in politics called compromising, which now people just, the idea of compromising, if you're a Republican and you compromise, you're a rhino, you're weak. We don't want you in our party. And if you're a Democrat that compromises, then you sold out the left, you sold out the people, and blah, blah, blah. This idea of working with the other side is just unpopular today. And Clinton is the last president that was not only willing to do it, but effectively did it. And it led to some of the best policy that we've seen, at least in my life.
Right, but it was out of desperation that he did it. And we don't have that kind of desperation now. Clinton had to compromise in order to save his presidency. No one has to do that now.
But hold on. But besides saving his presidency, he actually helped the country, though. So
Nixon didn't even have the balls to do what Clinton did.
What's that?
I'm done. You can do with that what you want.
Didn't hear it.
I said Richard Nixon. He didn't even have the balls to be as proud as Bill Clinton and stand up on his balls like Bill Clinton did. I think Bill Clinton went out like a champ. He didn't even kill himself. Okay?
But Nixon,
you got some people got jammed up because of whatever they got, scandals they got, and they're weak. They'd rather just commit suicide.
The guy who compromised with the Democrats on creating the EPA, which was a fucking major sellout, and he ended the gold standard, another Democrat goal. So he did two things.
By the way, little fun fact. David Nolan in 1971, December of 71, sitting at a dinner party in Colorado, decided to form the Libertarian Party because of a speech that Richard Nixon gave, in which Richard Nixon spoke about wage and price controls. So when people talk about why was the Libertarian Party created, little fun fact, it was created because David Nolan didn't like what Richard Nixon had to say about wage.
Well, to the point, I think Nixon had way more balls than people give him credit to. He folded to the Democrats on two gigantic fucking issues: gold standard and environment.
Well, we know Clinton, his balls were literally involved, so. That's why,
Take out.
No, Clinton was great, which is why I actually thought Hillary would have been a great president as well.
No.
I think she contributed a lot to. Hillary is super intelligent. Like if you look at her path to whatever. But I've talked about this. I don't like her.
Listen, Mickey, Lex Luthor was super intelligent. Intelligence isn't the key. You have to. How about this? Name another politician that has a list of people that has mysteriously died because the politician didn't like them. I mean, there's literally a hit list. Hillary Clinton is fucking Lex Luthor, but like in drag.
So again, the performativeness of Americans that think that government is benevolent or kind. Like, do you know how many hits the United States government has put out on leaders? Like,
How many?
You're
many?
trying to.
How many?
We don't know.
We don't know. Oh, I thought you asked the question because you had the answer. Oh.
No, I'm asking. No, I mean, I'm not one of those Americans.
It's not like China with 50 million.
Oh, please.
Or,
y'all don't
it's not
care
that many, right?
when people are murdered, death, killed. Like, come on. The
It's not
performativeness of
50
Americans.
million, though.
Hold on.
Forget about that.
Hold on, Dominic, hold on. Me. Like, read the room. Do you think that I don't have smoke for the Americans to do that? I run rooms and have for 2.5 plus years on this app talking about what both parties do that's terrible. Like when people were talking about election interference from the Russians, my first thought, and the rooms that I would run, was on election interference that the United States has done around the world, which, by the way, the ones that we know about, we have done more election interference in our 250-year history than there has been election interference with all other countries combined. This is stuff you can go look up. This is not even conspiratorial. There's some that you would question, but in the ones that we know, where we can prove, where we can document election interference, the United States does more election interference than everybody. So, like, I'm on your side that we do a lot of fucking crazy shit. But again, all of this stuff is on a curve. Hillary Clinton is a special kind of madman. Hillary Clinton literally has a list. I'll post it for you guys to read if you guys are unfamiliar with this, of people that have died mysteriously because they were foes of Hillary Clinton. There's no other politician, and if you think I'm wrong, there's please post another politician that's got a list of that's that long of political adversaries that have died so mysteriously. I will post this for you, and I just want you to remember that she is the most corrupt, the most despicable, the most evil in her heart human being that's ever held political office in the United States from the beginning of time till now. She's the absolute worst.
I have to disagree with that, and if you feel that way, expect some more people to probably come up there since this Epstein list is out, and they want to protect their name, their brand.
I'm not even going to say anymore. I'm worried that I might be next.
They have one daughter. Her name is Chelsea, by the way, and she's about my age, and from Arkansas. But at the same time, they will do anything to protect their name and their brand. So it might be some more people that might end up being dead. Do you feel that way? I mean,
do you think it would have protected their brand a little bit if he wouldn't have been friends with Epstein?
They were all.
I'm not going to answer that question. I'll pass that to someone else.
I mean, Trump and the Clintons were actually really good friends, right? Before they attended the same wedding.
Yes.
They were in the same. So again, this is what I'm talking about, Roger. It's the performativeness of the average American for me. Y'all have a problem with Hillary because she's a woman. Every single U.S. president, murder, death, kills. Every single one. How do you think that we're able to be here on this app? You can't do this in other countries. Sit here and criticize the the president, everything else, call them for filth, right? We can't sit around doing this in these places. I can criticize my government, but I also don't do the faux outrage that the average American does, right? It's just goofy to me. Like, come on. And y'all call out Hillary because she is a woman. That's the problem that America had with Hillary. Had it been a man, you would have admired that tendency to murder, death, kill. Please.
And Haley too. I mean,
A man would have been decisive.
so she's a woman.
She's an American politician. Oh, do y'all really think they always do what's best for other countries and benevolent and kind? Hell, they don't do what's best for Americans. I'm just like, whatever. She is a product of her country. She did not make these decisions by herself. She was not in charge. She was not like some renegade person. That's all I'm saying. But had she been a man, oh my God, y'all would be.
Hillary murder again.
And to think that if you would think that Hillary or even the Obama administration or even the current administration, that the Clintons have any insight or input on the decisions that are being made, you're a fucking fool.
He was a poor dude from Arkansas.
From home. He was from home, Arkansas,
Right.
probably about 20 minutes outside of my hometown.
I mean, they're literally, Donald Trump told Republicans not to vote for certain, the border bill, basically saying, wait till I get in office, don't make Biden look good. That's never really happened before, where people have been pretty open and honest about subjugating what goes on, you know, with the American government. So spare me the bullshit about Clinton having power. They didn't come from any money. They were just smart as hell. Clinton basically played dumb for the American population.
And a lot of people get it
Because y'all
Hillary
hate
is from
intellectual.
New York. Hillary had the money, not Bill.
Hillary is not from a blue blood family. Come on now, stop it. Stop it. He was an old boy. Have you seen his
He
mama
was a
and
good
his
old
brother?
boy, but he married a lady that was from New
He was
York
a
City.
good old boy. That's not how lineage works. Stop. That's ridiculous. Have you seen his mother?
Hillary, that's
That's
my
not how that works.
and I'm from Arkansas. I know Bill Clinton is trailer park trash, okay? Let's talk about it.
Also wasn't that effective of a U.S. president. He also wasn't that much effective.
U.S. president. He essentially passed no major legislation, and he lost Congress.
He did get welfare reform. That was huge.
Yeah, hold on. This is so funny. So Brent, I don't know if you left for a second, but yes, he was unpopular. He won a three-way race to become president. If it was just a two-way race, the way most of our elections are, he wouldn't have been president. And that unpopularity led to a landslide, in Congress at the midterm. But then he did make great moves in signing into law the contract with America, which I would argue is the best move that any president in my lifetime has done. Where they've worked with the other side. The idea that he signed no major legislation, I think what you mean to say is he didn't sign controversial legislation that people bitch about. So, and my guess is that you would refer to something like, well, Obama signed, Obamacare. And so that somehow is a bigger deal. Just because something's a bad idea and highly controversial doesn't make it more important. Jesus fuck.
So he passed no major legislation. The one people point to is welfare reform. I'd argue that went the wrong way, and I also argue that's not major. If you look
No,
at
you're
the
saying you don't like it.
No, if you look at the contract.
Now listen, Brett. Hold on. Listen. I want to spell this out for you. I'm going to put this in terms that even you can understand. Bill Clinton is the last president that's had a balanced budget. He didn't do it for all 8 years, but he's the last president that did that. And the contract with America is very important legislation, more than your heroes have passed. And I don't listen. I heard somebody in the chat write, oh, that's your favorite president. I don't like Bill Clinton. I've made it very clear. I'm grading on a curve. And the only reason he's better than these other knuckleheads is because he made a couple of wise decisions. He was able to work with the other side, a hostile other side, to be able to get important legislation that knuckleheads like you, Brent, want to dismiss as unimportant. Fucking clown.
So he didn't sign the contract with America into law. The contract with America was a set of 10 things that included like the balanced budget amendment, line item veto, a bunch of stuff that didn't happen. That's not what he signed into law. His one major legislation was the healthcare reform and the crime bill. Both, I would say they're moderately large. They're not really that big of a deal. And he had essentially no major international breakthroughs. So as far as like consequential, I mean, maybe average presidency.
He had Yasser Arafat at Camp David giving him 98% of what he wanted and almost had Mideast peace if the Middle Eastern people he was negotiating with were in good faith.
Well, that negotiation was negotiated between the Palestinians and the Israelis without DC's influence at all. They just came to DC at the very end to kind of give the White House ceremony. So he really had nothing to do with it, and it also fell apart.
Yeah, it fell apart because they didn't want to have peace, not because he didn't try.
He didn't, like, he legitimately had barely anything to do with that negotiation besides saying, sure, you can come to the White House. You're welcome to use this Google machine to see that I'm right.
Y'all always want to trot out Tim Scott. Tim Scott is a black Republican. But what happened in Kentucky? That dude didn't get elected. What happened in Georgia? Like, come on now, Adams. And you're a Trumper. You're not a Republican. Stop. And Condi and Powell were because of Bush W. I mean, W was not, normally you can say every Republican is a racist, just goes together. But W was actually a pretty decent dude. He was probably one of the most Christian people that we've had outside of Carter.
The other thing that Clintons did is that they ran their elections more liberally and they governed more to the center. So they were able to pivot and embrace more of the people in the United States on both sides rather than just cater to one party.
You mean like Biden did was the infrastructure bill and then also willing to sign border reform?
Could you repeat that? Biden did what on border reform?
Infrastructure bill signed into law, bipartisan, brought in Republicans, and also the border reform bill that Republicans just killed essentially had a bunch of, negotiated by Republicans and took on a lot of conservative ideas.
I got a question for Republicans, Democrats, or anybody else on the stage. When Obama had cages built for children at the border and Trump used those cages and Biden continued using those cages, is it interesting to anybody that the only person that really got blamed for caging children at the border was Trump when Obama was the one that had them made and Biden still used?
Obama sent more illegals back than any president.
For their babies separated from their mother without them still being located under Obama? I think it worked.
Because Obama was representing the interests of Black Americans when he was correctly limiting illegal immigration.
Let me jump in here real quick.
Yeah.
Let me just say this real quick.
Roger, you could give facts up the walls. It don't matter. If people are anti-Trump, it doesn't matter. So you could say who's the one that built the cages, who's the one that put them in the cages. Facts mean nothing. If they hate Trump, they're going to hate on Trump. If they love Trump, they're going to love on Trump. This man in my lifetime is easily the most polarizing, not just politician, person to come down the pipeline ever. So we can give him facts. It doesn't matter. Yeah, Brent, you want to slay him on? And I'm not. And Brent, by the way, I'm not a Trump supporter.
I can name several things I think Trump did well.
Yeah, look, this stuff is funny when we talk about it, especially when people are, so dug into a narrative that they accept. When you strip the narrative away and you start looking at what were the policies and, what was the result of the policies? People forget just how bad some of these people were. People held on to these thoughts. Like, I remember when Obama first ran, a lot of people just knew that, he's that young guy that spoke at the convention and gave this great speech. Wow, okay, he's very articulate and he really delivered an impactful speech. And then it was a brilliant marketing campaign to say hope and change, because people believe in things like hope, and they would like for things to change because things suck. Things have always kind of, to one degree or another, have sucked, and so people want to change things. That's just kind of like the human condition, even predating the United States. That people want to see things change, and so when you present the idea of hope and change, people bought into it. That was cool. But when you look at the results of Obama, and you look at some of the things that happened, he had an ability, if he so wanted to heal the racial tensions in this country.
Oh, God, Roger.
You could speak after I speak. He didn't do that. He could have, and he chose not to. The other thing that is just absolutely disgusting under his administration is that while Democrats have been no stranger to the idea of wanting to take away guns and disrespect the Second Amendment and strip citizens of their right to own guns, his own administration through the Attorney General's office, Eric Holder, they took fully automatic weapons, not semi-automatics, fully automatic weapons, and gave them to the cartels. If you guys don't believe this, just go look up, the Fast and Furious, and not the fucking movie chain. Look up Eric Holder, Fast and Furious, and go look at the gun running scheme that happened under Eric Holder and Barack Obama. Now, if you have any smoke for drug cartels and the damage that they do, not only here but in their own country, just the business that they're in, these guys are murderous people. Obama and Eric Holder wanted to put the best small arm weapons in the world in their hands. They use taxpayer dollars to give guns that they don't want you or I to own to the cartels. Now, if you don't have smoke for Barack Obama about that, I at that point, I just don't even care about your political opinion.
First of all, Roger, that's probably one of the goofiest things I've ever heard you say on the stage. Not white people thinking that because you went out of your little comfort zone and clicked that little button for the first Black president ever, that he was going to heal the nation. Come together, Black people and white people. Get the fuck out of here. That's why gun sales went up. Speaking about performativeness, I'm going to really need Americans to educate themselves and stay off of Fox News in 2024, because we're just not down with the bullshit anymore. We're not Trumpers. We're just not going to believe in random stuff.
Nobody watches Fox News. Nobody watches Fox News.
Yes,
nobody watches CNN. No, that clearly don't. Comparatively speaking, well, I'm going to give you a little stat. An episode of Joe Rogan will outdraw CNN, MSNBC, and Fox News every time. You can combine the total viewership for all three of those cable programs and compare it to the viewership of Rogan, and it doesn't compare. In fact, Tucker Carlson, who was fired from Fox News, just did an interview that aired on his own network and then has been on X. More people have viewed that. More people have viewed that interview than have watched Fox News all year long. I'll repeat that. More people have viewed that than have watched Fox News all year long. We're a month and a week into the year, and that one interview has had more eyeballs than Fox News combined for the year. Explain that.
Then explain why Donald Trump, as the sitting president, literally would call in and talk to them, almost on a daily basis. But anywho, I guess he was just doing that because he was bored, and as the president of the United States, he didn't have
Do you
shit
know
else
that
to
he
do.
didn't call and talk to anybody at CNN or MSNBC?
Oh, God. Here we go with the Trump wankers in your mouth. May I finish what I was saying earlier? So, about the guns and about Obama being the great healer, which is hilarious, right? Do you know how much gun sales went up? Actually, after Obama left office, there were even a couple of gun manufacturers that literally filed for bankruptcy because Americans stopped buying guns because the threat was no longer there. A black man, right, who was supposed to be the most ghetto president ever by virtue of him being black.
No, but hold on.
Around.
The threat that Democrats pose and why it leads to gun sales is because people are worried that if they don't buy them now, they're going to get banned, which is why anytime a Democrat gets elected, you're going to see a spike. Matter of fact, the biggest spike that we saw was when was actually over this time with the Biden's been in office. And so, in fact, one of the reasons why the gun laws are going to go in the direction that I'd like to see is because we have now more women gun owners, more minority-owned guns in the last 3 years. It's almost doubled in 3 years. And you can talk to people that that work at gun shops, and they will tell you that new gun owners are flooding in. And the reason why they're while they're flooding in is because there's this constant fear that if you don't get them now, you'll never get a chance to buy them. And because Democrats do weird shit, like buying a bunch of fucking bullets, which drive up the cost of ammo. Like, why the fuck they do that? But like they purposely they buy ammo for agencies that don't fucking need them. Why does the fucking IRS need fucking bullets? It's ridiculous.
So first of all,
those pharmaceutical companies were also killing people left and right under the Obama administration. We forget that as well.
Adam, do you know who that is in your PTR? Do you know who that is? I don't think you know who that is.
Are we sticking to the topic?
No. I was saying I ain't trying to bust your balls, but I was just saying I like the PTR. He's a comedian, black guy. His name is Tim Bay from Houston, Texas, and I fuck with him. That's why I was just trying to see. Did you know who he was?
So like I said, we know it's because there was a black man in office. The number of death threats and all of that also increasingly went up. Since you like to say he was just another Democrat, no, he was not just another Democrat. And yes, people tend to buy guns. And by the way, I'm in the South. Lots of black people have guns. Lots of women have guns. And we've always had guns, right? So nothing new. But what can we point to, right? Again, actual data versus y'all's little goofy, uninformed opinions always wins the day. We saw ridiculously high amounts. And then, like I said, these companies actually went into bankruptcy because y'all stopped buying guns collectively almost on the same damn day that the man was no longer in office. Oh, so what was different about this Democratic president? Oh, he was a black man. Oh, surprise, surprise. So, anywho, and for the immigration thing, Obama literally used to pop their little asses in there and then pop their little asses right back across the border. Hence why he was known as the Great Deporter. A lot of the Dems were actually pissed about that, if we want to have that conversation. Nobody liked that he was doing that, as opposed to Donald Trump, who literally was giving these big-ass fat contracts to his wealthy friends to take care of these migrant children that, again, you performative-ass Americans don't give a shit about. They even opened up some facilities here in Houston, and people protested it because we were like, what the hell? Why are these kids so damn far away from the border? You pervy ass people. Y'all talking about Pizzagate. Who the fuck is looking over those kids for $7 damn an hour? Send their asses back over that border just like Obama did. We already had a precedent for it. And you're not wasting my taxpayer dollars flying these damn kids all over the country like they flew black people after Hurricane Katrina. Like, what the hell? So again, y'all's performance literally irritates the shit out of me. Jeez.
Well, I want to dance speak for just a second. So I have a question for you. So, and it's probably just a rumor, you know, because Sleepy Joe, he had himself one incredible week this week. And one of the rumors that, you know, not just on this app, you hear in real life, you read online, you read in the papers, is that if he has to drop out, Michelle Obama might run. How do you feel about that?
I feel like y'all would shit on yourselves, honestly. Because if you
First
thought
transgender president?
It wouldn't even be a thought because she's not going to do it.
Yeah, of course she wouldn't. Just like the reason that Powell said he wouldn't. He didn't want to deal with idiots. But I mean, y'all listen to Donald Trump talk about how somebody stole a refrigerator right in front of him. So in the speech he was, I mean, the bar is so low now in this country. If my money was not tied into the wealth and economic prosperity of this country, I would literally just be sitting here laughing my ass off all day. Globally, how people look at us is just insane. American exceptionalism is so down the tubes. And I just want to personally thank all of you Trump supporters for doing that. We needed to be knocked down a peg. But history has a way of humbling her pseudo-greats, does it not?
History doesn't have a gender. History does not have a gender.
Neither do you, Adams.
Yes, it does. History does have a gender. Why do we call Mother Nature Mother Nature? Why do we call that? Mitochondrial DNA. That's all related to women or a female species.
Oh, and now it's with the Obama made all these decisions. Obama ran the country. Oh my God. So we're going to forget that you basically had senators, people that were literally so against Obama that the man had to fight tooth and nail. And I didn't even vote for him, right? I wasn't even a fan of him because he was just a typical Democratic president, throw money at it. So are y'all kidding me now? You really think that they let the black man come in and run shit? Jesus Christ. Y'all, oh my God. Do better, white people. Do better. Do better.
What's up, Sharon?
This article up at the top, the list of Clinton associates who died mysteriously, is really crazy. But again, like I said, it's just this whole everything is going down. This is very. If you guys believe these type of conspiracies about they come up missing and dead, it might not be something. Don't want to fuck. I'm not trying to get with everybody else. And the reason I say that, right, is because all the people that have their take the talk. I'm supposed to. You know?
I do think it's kind the whole golf thing. See, they finally got Tiger. Yeah, but everybody's such a patriot.
I also think in 20 years they're gonna try to put Jeffrey Epstein more than they already have.
You notice they keep trying to change the subject. Isn't that very weird? Like, we don't talk about this issue enough, and that's why people continue to normalize this behavior, and children continue to get abused. I mean, the fact that Bill
There was also some issues with like a
Who
Russian
was,
oligarch
wait,
that came in.
who was the prosecutor on the Florida case?
It was years ago. I'm not that into that stuff to remember those details, but you can research it yourself if you would
I
like.
think it was Acosta who wound up being on part of the Obama administration.
Yeah, so there were a couple. Yeah, because wealthy people get away with shit in this country. Jay, are you surprised by that? Oh my God, the outrage! So anywho, like I said before, I was interrupted with bullshit.
First off, don't be condescending to me. I haven't been condescending. So dial it down. I get where you stand. That's cool. I'm not being completely rude to me.
Sure. Epstein was actually looked into at least, I don't know, 3 or 4 times, including in New York, including in Florida. There were a couple of times before that. That list that everybody was like salivating about, it's actually been released a couple of times. They even tried to censor one of the New York guys. I can't remember when it was. So again, for me, it's the performativeness. If you really cared about Epstein and these ties and these circles, probably a lot of the presidents that you elected, including Donald Trump, you would not have done so. So I'm going to go away because I've had enough performativeness for random clubhouse interactions today. And yes, I am condescending.
What's the performance? She said I'm
100% full of shit. It's funny when you poke back at them, they don't like it. You know, because I can speak on that whole Epstein thing for days. You know, say what you want about Trump. Trump walked away from that dude and brought him to Mar-a-Lago. Clinton still got on the Lolita Express. And that's all documented.
I can't defend Clinton for that and what somebody did in the White House. Well, he wasn't a failed president, but Trump bought the silence of young women in court who he had relationships with on the island. So that's all documented.
Show me the documents, David, because I think you're confusing the cases.
Not, but I'm driving. Let me dig that up for you.
Thank you, because the Epstein case is totally different than him paying off porn stars that he banged behind his wife's back.
Legal consenting adults. We're talking about children, okay?
I'm talking about children he had sex with on the island.
Who?
But we don't know that. Bill Clinton only got caught with a woman, a grown fucking woman, not kids.
And Donald Trump didn't get caught with no kids either. That's my whole point. That's the difference between the allegations between Donald Trump and Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton's allegations involve children.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Let me ask a question of both Clinton and Trump apologists. Do you think it's out of the realm of possibility that either of these men are disgusting enough to sleep with children?
If he could.
For Trump, yes, not for Clinton. I don't think
For Clinton, absolutely.
No, Trump, absolutely. Bill Clinton would not do that.
Okay, well, hold on. Let's just walk through this slowly. So your piece, you say Bill Clinton wouldn't do it, but Trump would, right?
Right.
Okay. Did you vote for Trump?
No, I hate that I didn't. I voted for Biden.
Hold on.
I
I just got a few more. Did you vote for Clinton?
every time.
Okay, so I just want to point out some interesting observations. So the people that you've voted for, the person you voted for would never do the bad thing. And the person that you didn't vote for is the person that you believe, without any evidence, absolutely would do the bad thing.
I think that, is it out of the realm of possibility for either one? Absolutely not. But is there really much evidence that either one did anything with children? No, there's really not any system.
Okay, Brian, hold on a second, man. Clinton was on the Lolita Express how many times? So, you know, if there's smoke, there's fire. Trump, and as far as Trump is, hold on, Frank. As far as Trump is concerned, this is the same dude that said he would bang his daughter if it wasn't his daughter. So they're both perverts.
Bought beauty pageants, walk backstage, watch them dressing. That's Trump.
Being on a manifest on a manifest.
There are no underage women in the Miss USA competition.
He had other pageants.
There are no underage women in that competition. Stop making things up.
Wait, hold on.
Go
So
ahead.
you're saying, hold on. You're saying being in the manifest. What about underage masseuse that gave testimony at the did a deposition saying that she was a Bill Clinton? You're gonna tell me the Clintons didn't have Jeffrey Epstein killed?
I mean, I think there's a lot of questions about Bill Clinton's past as far as his conduct with women. I haven't seen much credible that would say that he probably did something with a child. I've seen a lot that makes me kind of question with women, but I mean nothing beyond 51%, 49%, and definitely nothing beyond that I'm certain.
Trump in 2005 on Howard Stern boasted about watching not the word underage, watching teenagers undressing at his pageants.
There are no underage teenagers at the Miss USA pageant.
Roger, what do you think, Roger? You think both these perverts would be beyond the realm of possibility that both these perverts they sleep with
I think it's pretty clear that that the average human being is capable of some crazy shit. And when you get to that level where where you think you're above the law, you've got not just money and resources, but you've got influence and power. They tend to do weird shit. But I will say this: without evidence, I think it's crazy to say that they definitely done something. But I would definitely agree that I'll put it this way: the best way I can put it is if any member of Congress, any president, any Supreme Court justice, anybody with that kind of power, if a story were to come out with credible evidence that they were doing this crazy shit, it would not surprise me. There's not a single member of any body of politics that I would go, oh, well, that's a surprise, because I think the thing that lures them into that world is a certain lack of integrity, honestly, because the way that politics works. The way it really works, not the way that voters think it works, but the way it actually works, and the dirt and the blood that you have to have on your hands in order to be successful, it wouldn't shock me if any of them were guilty of these.
So hold on one second, Adam. Let me just ask this one question, Raj. Do you think Epstein killed himself?
It is highly unlikely. The most likely scenarios is that he was either killed or he was allowed to kill himself. And in that facility, the priority and the responsibility was to keep him alive. And so somebody shirked their responsibility, and it's hard to imagine that was done unintentionally.
So I just want to clarify and expose the lie that was just told on stage about Donald Trump looking at teenage girls behind the Miss USA competitions. From 1952 up until 2024, there have always been age requirements from 18 to 27. So this is not something that I think this person really has an understanding of that.
You don't have an understanding of the legal.
I do. You could just
But
go
the Trump Foundation has donated to
right to the website.
young
They do
girl
not allow
pageants.
minors to compete for Miss
And these girls are
USA.
minors. I'm talking about these pageants. I don't know if it's a tax write-off, but you look into some like John Benet Ramsey, the little girl that came up missing. The Trump Foundation, they donated to these kids, these young girls that were doing pageants and bathing suits and stuff. I mean, if you guys like this type of shit, I mean, by all means. But it's disgusting. It really is.
Welcome back, Roy June. Great PTR.
Thank you. Happy to be back.
Roy, what do you think? You think Epstein killed himself?
No, obviously not.
Who do you think had a hand in that? I say the Clintons and Prince Andrew.
I mean, again, like, if obviously, if we wanted to end human trafficking, if we wanted to end the drug trade, if we wanted to, we certainly could have invented the mechanisms in which would have a check and balance power to do those things. But we don't want to. We choose to veil. Our systems aren't built to break things those large on an actual large scale. But it doesn't mean that we wouldn't have the ability to. So honestly, I don't know. It could have been anyone. Could have been a whole bunch of countries. It could have been a series of private-public, partnership in a sick and twisted kind of way, For real, though, just saying. That's probably the most likely.
Do you think, Roy, there's too many guns in America? Roy, Says my answer. Okay, Sammy, what's up, Sammy? Sammy Samani, who's a free thinker. Frank, what's up, Frank? Everybody wants to talk today.
What's up, Jay? I'll say what's up to you, man.
What's up, Chef King? How you doing?
I'm doing good. How you doing, brother?
Man, any day above ground is a good day for me. How you doing? So, Chef King.
Yes, sir.
Did Epstein kill himself?
I don't think so.
Who killed him?
Some very powerful people, I believe.
I agree.
I only say that because they say that he had cameras everywhere in his house and stuff like that, and like basically, I know I'm not as one of those, but it was he. I don't think he killed it. I think somebody went in there and made it look like he killed himself.
So the next question, Chef King. Why do Democrats want to take away our guns? Do you think the Democrats are trying to take away our guns?
I think so. I think it's stupid. And the states that got some of the highest crimes are the ones that got the dumbest gun laws, like California, New York. I'm in California for sure, so it's stupid. Like, the concept is that if you take away guns, it'll stop crime. But like, if you're a criminal, you're gonna get a gun regardless. Just because you don't get it registered, don't mean you're still not gonna go get a firearm. So it don't make no sense.
Argument for me.